Welcome back, everybody, to the North American Strikers League, where we are about to get into our second match of the day. Orbits taking on the DUBU Strikers. I'm still Gordo. I am still joined today by Alter. And Alter, we've got another real great matchup coming on up here.
Yeah, no, this is another matchup that I am excited to see. I am a fan of the DUBU Strikers, so I can definitely can't wait to see what they do. DUBU Strikers, my bad.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Me as well. They are sitting at 2-0 here. Had a little bit of a closer series than we might have expected up against Winterfall last week. I was a part of that cast, and yeah, just a real good performance coming out of Winterfall there. Do not have too many criticisms to leverage towards the Strikers themselves, but they are looking to come back out swinging here today and keep that streak going to get themselves up into 3-0.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see what's gonna happen. I have no, I guess I have, while I enjoy watching one of the teams, I don't have a personal say in what I think is gonna win this match. I don't know which way it's gonna go, so my prediction would be I don't know.
Very good, very good. Yeah, they're coming in up against Orbits, who are 0-2 so far in the NASL. They have been having a little bit of struggles coming in out of the gates, although they have played up against some tough opponents. They played against Finesse in week number 1, 0-2 there, and they played against Jakara Chatting last week, 0-2 there as well. So we're going to have to see what Lumos Hook and Hook Resets can put in together, and then I'm told we still don't have Barcode, so it looks like it is going to be Spencer playing at goalie for them today.
Yeah, I actually have not seen much of Spencer in the goalie, so even more of a mystery for me to find out what's going to happen.
Absolutely, here is looking over towards what they're going to be able to put together. I mean, it's been different selections coming on through from the side of Spencer when we've seen them. They played an Imi goalie and a Rune goalie just this last week, and that's been a little bit different than what we often traditionally see. It's been a lot of DUBU out of Barcode every time we get to see him, so going to be a interesting setup. I'm sure it's at least going to be slightly influenced by what maps we end up on. I think this was the match last week where we had a double Inky's Splash Zone, and we all know how that influences your picks and your play a little bit.
Yeah, Inky Splashdown, definitely a map that I think we've all had a lot of time to get used to and figure out our way around, and the picks on there are definitely a lot different from regular maps, but if what you're saying is true about Spencer with the Rune and the Amy goalie, I'm all for it because I love the off-meta goalie picks, and it seems here we're going to be having another match like last one where it's on Atlas's Lab.
Have they turned off Inky's Splash Zone? I legitimately have not, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to jinx us all here, but it feels like that was the only map for like the week after it came out, and I have not seen it since then. I played like 10 games last night, played like 15 games the night before, zero Inky Splash Zone games, and now here today, we've yet to see one as well.
Yeah, since they turned off the extra chance of it appearing, I haven't seen it appear much either. Maybe they're trying to give everyone a little bit of breathing room from
they
it.
They turned it down. They went all the way in the other direction.
Yeah. It seems we are seeing that Amy goalie you talked about from Spencer here.
Yeah, that does seem
and,
like where...
no Kazan ban. So we're going to be seeing Lumos on Kazan, which I think is going to be very exciting to see.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see no Kazan in this one. We'll see what everybody else is going to be bringing onto the table here. Hook Resets back on the Estelle. They have been favoring that pick pretty much all season long so far. Played it in 3 out of their 4 games. Now Lumos coming on in on the Juliet once again. Going to be offset with the Rasmus coming through from 3Z Breezy.
Yeah, I've seen 3Z Breezy, and I do like what he can do on the Rasmus. So it's definitely going to be very strong here. Very good. It's going to be definitely a good game.
Right on to the field now for game number 1. Lumos taking control on the bottom side first and foremost. Hook Resets passing it back on up. Going to be able to find that first goal barrier. Lumos in their faces as you are on the Julie. Going to find that second goal barrier. And right off to an aggressive start is the side of the DUBU Strikers. They are going to find themselves the win.
Definitely a very quick and strong round. They're definitely showing their presence there. Definitely showing what they're made of.
Great start. Sorry, that was Orbits rather. Getting my teams a little bit mixed up. They're not on the sides I expected them to be on. We'll have to just deal with that. So it's going to be Spencer in the goal again, now going to have to play a little bit more defense, but a great start for Orbits, given how they come into this series. We'll see if they're able to keep that momentum up. Moving it back onto this side once again, Spencer coming out of that goal arc very early and often and going to be able to help open it on up. We'll have their own goal opened up first and foremost, though, and Gramella control on the top side. They'll lose that and get it pushed back away from them. KO found for 3Z Breezy up there. Going to be able to earn themselves a little bit of space to play with as Lumos is taken off the map for 5 more seconds. Can they score in that time? We're going to have to see. As 3Z Breezy taking it on towards the bottom. A nice pendulum swing with Gramella on the piercing shot. Going to sneak it through.
That double primary from them, definitely very strong on this primetime Orb Replicator start on a game. It's definitely a strong game, definitely looking like a snowball type of thing for the people that have taken Orb Replicator, or if the other team's able to snipe this out, we're not going to see much value from those. But it does seem right here we're going to see another early KO from hook resets on the edge, catching someone too close, and now they're going to be able to get both barriers from this, and Gramella coming closer with that primary, able to get it through for another insanely good round.
Gramella just does it all there. Gramella gets the KO, gets the goal barrier, gets the goal. Just absolutely dominating on the Estelle in that round. And they're going to have to do something to contain this, guys. He is running away with it early on here.
Yeah, Gramella definitely are very strong on that Estelle pick. Very good, but we're going to see here that that ultimate from Estelle is also able to get that barrier down. And now that they're trying to get it down and they're getting it back over to Lumos with the extra help from the Amy turn, trying to get it through, but it doesn't seem like they're able to quite get it through until they get to both barriers, rather. And now with the core flip coming from Spencer, it seems Obscure Presence is able to hold that down. And now they're trying to upgrade it past midfield with Lumos rotating back, but he gets sniped by Gramella with another KO. And
Gramella does not
power.
miss these, just taking complete control here, able to find another opening, and there's going to be the second goal barrier opened on up there by 3Z. What can the two of them do together paired up? Knocked away by hook resets. Lumos now with an aggressive angle with the punch, nearly setting up very nicely with that sentry, but not quite getting it through. And now it's all in that top corner. A huge save by Obscure Breads in the last possible moment. Knocks it down towards the bottom, gets it away from the rest of the squad. As there's the KO found by Orbits. Spencer on the bottom side shoots it past. Obscure Breads can't get the strike, and it's 2-2 in set number 1.
These are definitely some intense rounds, and a lot of KOs coming from both sides here. Definitely, they both really want this first set, as it can be the leading factor of what happens here because of that Orb Replicator start. And as we can see here, though, that they are Gravilla's able to get that first barrier down, and now they're trying to get the momentum their way by changing it. Lumos trying to get that goal barrier, but Hook Resistance is able to get that primary out to get it, and the Corporal comes out to Lumos, but they're able to block that shot, and Spencer getting closer and closer with Lumos trying to cut their corners off, but they're able to get that Corporal kill on to, sorry, my bad, 3Z. Yeah.
Yep, taken right off of the map there. Oh, counter flips back and forth, but a double KO picked up by Orbits, and Lumos just going to turn that into the first set win. Great start for Orbits.
Wow, that's really tough to say because, like, there's always that momentum at the start of the game, but they're able to change it once the game goes on more, the round, I should say. Definitely a good one, and we are seeing an orb on the field with that orb replicator onto Spencer. That's going to be very strong.
Very strong indeed. Is a great start coming out of the field there from Orbits. See what they're going to be able to pick up on both sides here. Stagger Swagger picked on up for the Rasmus, going to look to increase his survivability here a little bit out there.
Yeah, and the Atlas taking that specialized training for even more of that survivability. It seems that they have opted for two very strong awakenings for staying alive here. Definitely trying to counteract all that KOing they're able to output.
Absolutely, we'll see how it's going to work out as Lumos is off to the races once again, chunking Gramella out, taking them into Stagger. Gramella going to push it past, a nice piercing shot, going to be able to find the first of the goal barriers as Lumos is running in, sprinting towards the bottom side even as they try to get themselves onto Obscure Breads and opening up that goal. 3Z with the pass on down, Obscure Breads looking to receive. There's going to be 3Z looking to knock it in, but can't find it. The pendulum swing is going to be what finally ends up opening up that goal. The push through as well, coming through from hook resets, going to open up the second goal. But 3Z with the whiplash, stepping forward, gets it past Spencer, and finds themselves a goal.
Definitely some really strong ability usage there. Very well placed, very well coordinated all around. Definitely a good round for them. Both teams were really close times to score there. Definitely hard to say how this kickoff is going to go, but it does seem that Lumos and Spencer both have core flip with hook resets right on the verge of getting it, and they're able to get that early barrier right off the bat with a core flip coming out from Lumos, which is able to get that second barrier and the third core flip. Oh, but Obscure Breads is able to block it for that last shot with their core flips.
Really great stuff from Obscure Breads there. I mean, still going to end up getting it through is Orbits, but has had multiple fantastic saves. It's just not enough, though. The pressure from hook resets and Lumos has just been overwhelming.
Yeah, those core flips were definitely well placed, and they know what they were doing with them. And that early barrier grab was definitely a hard thing to counteract, but it does seem that they are trying to make that change with the KO, though, coming from Lumos onto 3Z, and now the pressure is really on for Obscure Breads, but he is able to hold it out.
You cannot leave Lumos alone with any of your allies, as they will take them right off the map, and they will keep 3Z Breezy on the back foot. Stagger Swagger or not going to be enough. Lumos, though, taking a fat bit of damage there from Obscure Breads, is going to be having to play a little bit more safe. But as I say that, now the tempo swings more than enough. Again, with his last breath, a nice save from Obscure Breads, but now he's off the map, and there's a core flip coming on down. 3Z Breezy going to have to play emergency goalie. Nice block away from Grimella, taking control, knocked in from the center, though, and taken in for a KO, but the goalie is back. Obscure Breads can play defense once again, but will it be enough, as they're still outnumbered and they're still outgunned, as these glitch pops are coming in from Spencer on the other side. Grimella has been able to respawn, though, and is able to keep up the defense. Another huge save from Obscure Breads, but another better follow-through from Orbits.
Wow, a lot of KOs there, a lot of power play, and just a lot of pressure to put on Obscure Breads in that goal box. They were never able to get a good chance to get it out and try to put the pressure onto them. Definitely a well-rounded and well-played team.
Very, very good here, as they're going to be up now 2-1 in the second set. Orbits looking very strong here despite their record, looking to show up here and take down the DUBU Strikers. Pushing forward, Lumos with another great shot. That's a 2-1 set lead for Orbits.
Wow, Orbits really came, and they were not playing around. They really do want to show that they have something to offer here, and it does look like they do, especially with this draft awakening here. We're going to be seeing that 1-2 punch and timeless for the Juliet and Amy, both very strong picks, but the rapid fire buff is going to also make it something to consider. And honestly, I would probably consider it too, but Glass Cannon, because they are goalies, another great choice.
Who was on the desk that was predicting Orbits as the team that can make a big turnaround towards the back end of this season? Because they are looking fantastic in this series. The 0-2 underdog coming in up against the 2-0 DUBU Strikers are now one set away from taking themselves their first game win of the NASL season.
Yeah, if they can keep that pressure up for this last set, then they're definitely going to be good for that one on this series. And with that KO coming out, though, it definitely seems like they want it, and they're doing their absolute best to get it with that pressure that they're putting onto that goal barrier, and they're able to get it through with Lumos, that primary, walking into the black hole to damage 3Z, definitely chunked, but the Atlas ult is able to get him back up, and now that Grimella is back alive, they're trying to turn the momentum around with the Death's Touch that is able to get the barrier down, and now with the amazing ult from Grimella, able to score it in just when I thought they could turn that pressure around.
Crystal Thorns making the difference once again. Very great shots from Grimella. We have seen some moments of greatness from this play on the Estelle in particular, but it has not been enough to offset the pressure that Hook Resets and Lumos have been able to put out. Lumos is looking to return to that form here. The Cutler flip comes on through from Hook Resets, going to be denied, stuffed away once again by the Strikers as they find themselves a cross-map goal barrier. 3Z Breezy coming in with their own core flip, but gonna get it knocked away from them. Core flips all over the place on the map here as Spencer commits one as well, and Grimella gonna get sent into the staggered state when all is said and done. Another follow-up piercing shot from Hook Resets, trying to keep up the pressure. Here comes that Celestial intervention to make sure that they are going to be able to keep themselves standing up. Now here comes 3Z Breezy up on the top side, knocked away from him once again. Hook Resets, showing some very good core control here as the pressure from Lumos comes through. Another Fire Flurry, going to be able to take out another member of the DUBU Strikers and buy themselves even more space.
Yeah, definitely a lot of damage coming out here with another KO coming from Lumos. Just as I say that, with the barrier coming down, following it, and now it seems that the gold barrier is, Obscure Breads is definitely holding it down with only one core flip on the board, with being that Spencer and Lumos in the goal trying to get it through, and it does seem like we have a disconnect or a DC from 3Z Breezy in the corner, so it's definitely going to be a lot harder for them, but it does seem like he's reconnect. Oh, I spoke too soon. It does seem, though, that they are stopping play until he comes back.
All right, we'll have to see when 3Z is going to be able to return. No goals end up coming on through there. That is for the best, as K-Bot is in Twitch chat letting me know that they were the ones who ended up predicting Orbits. Congratulations, K-Bot. Your prediction looking pretty good in this game so far.
Yeah, it does seem that we're seeing a lot of Amy tanks. Time to talk about the emote play, I guess. I am, personally, for this new Battle Pass, I love the Amy tank, and it's definitely a favorite from a lot of people, and I personally really enjoy it.
Yeah, lots of tanks. I've seen a ridiculous number of tanks since this was added into the emote pool. And everybody knows what's going on here. We're already in overtime. There's not too much to speak about until 3Z is going to be able to rejoin.
Definitely a lot of striking going around them with the Estelles.
Yep, you gotta stay. What is it?
Stay warm.
Just stay warmed up. You know, you don't want your fingers getting cold. Don't want anything to. You don't want to lose any of the momentum you've built up from having played out most of this game already. Breezy Breezy, I'm sure, working on being able to get back in here. Oh, here we go. Spencer's out here. He's blowing cooldowns now. You know it's been long enough. All right, there we go. And Breezy Breezy now back in the game.
He was waiting for those cooldowns to come off.
Looking like we will be back into the action here before too long. Overtime still being channeled. As soon as 3Z Breezy takes a step, I think we consider this thing unpaused.
Yep, and there is the steps. There we see movement. He is alive.
All right.
It's really good to continue on. And they are able to score that out, which is really hard to switch that momentum from going from still to unstill. So definitely an interesting point from them.
Then they are going to be able to take the goal at the end of the day. Orbits has been crafting that game plan during the whole reconnect, I'm sure. Now we're going to be able to get back into the action here, 1-1 in what could be our final set of the game, as Orbits has shown a fantastic job of being able to keep control in this game and actually take a lead up against their 2-0 opponents. Core flip from Lumos, not going to be able to find too much else. There's the shot from Grimella, but in the center, just going to be a bunch of damage dealt on out. Hook resets, looking for the KO on 3Z Breezy, not quite getting it as he survives in the corner, but Lumos keeping up that pressure, looking for the shot off the top, not finding either, but 3Z and Grimella now both going to be staggered. 3Z coming back up here before too long thanks to that stagger swagger. Hook resets with the Crystal Thorns on the bottom, looking to knock it back on up, down to Lumos, who wants the shot up against Obscure Breads. Spencer and Grimella brawling it out on the other side, but the goal will be opened up. Hook resets, looking for the shot. Lumos wants it as well. Off that flying Phoenix, can't quite find the angle. And Spencer just going to keep up the defense on the bottom side, throws on down the sentry turret, knock back on up towards Lumos. There's the core flip from Obscure Breads to clear it back out and actually end up opening up the goal. DUBU strikers still want their comeback, but there's the core flip from Hook resets. There's the KO from Lumos, and a 2-1 set so far for Orbits. They're one goal away from winning the game.
They are indeed. They are definitely coming, and they had that double core flip play, which they seem really good at connecting those. And it seems that they really want this. So, and Spencer with that amazing defense, and Obscure Breads also holding it down, but it's really hard to hold it down when that much pressure is being applied.
Yeah, the momentum completely against them now. The DUBU strikers having so much difficulty in this game number one. It's going to be very tough for them to try to find a way to come back into this one. Knocking away Grimella on the bottom side. It is going to be Breezy Breezy trying to take control. Grimella goes down, and Lumos is looking for the goal. Flying Phoenix forward, doesn't find the core, but does find Obscure Breads. Hook resets, has the core flip available, goes for it, knocks it in. Another defense from Obscure Breads. Hook resets, keeps up the pressure as Spencer comes in to join the fray, but cannot get it past, cannot get it into the goal. Obscure Breads keeps the game alive, but he's is not done yet. Hook resets, is coming forward. There's the core flip from Lumos down into the bottom, into the sentry turret, and Lumos will find the goal. Orbits win game number 1.
Wow, that his ability to look for that Amy turret and able to make the most out of it with that well-placed turret into that well-placed core flip. Definitely a really good way to get their 1 for this series. They're 1-0.
Great start for them here. That is their first game win of the NASL season, and that has got to feel plenty good given the position that they were in coming into the day, having not won one yet on week 3. Now going to look to take it the rest of the way through, take down the DUBU Strikers here, and be able to get themselves their first win in a series.
Yeah, it definitely seems like they are playing to win right here. They're doing really well, and they were able to stop them from taking a set, which I guess goes to show how much they really are trying to get it and how much they're trying to prove that they are going to be able to get out of that 0-2 record.
Absolutely. So now we are in queue for game number 2 here before too long.
Yeah, that Amy goalie was definitely a really strong pick with how well their team played with it and around it. I think it was very strong and very powerful for their map pick, or not pick, but rather the map that they got, and then the team that they chose to put around it.
Yeah, Spencer making it happen here, getting so much done with the rest of the squad. And yeah, Lumos and Hook Resets just pairing up together, constantly finding KOs, taking 3Z Breezy pretty much entirely off the map. They had so little time to actually play with there, couldn't get their hands on the core, couldn't get any damage out, and their numbers are low across the board because spent so much of the game dead.
Yeah, their KO potential and their damage was really high. Lumos was really going really well with those KOs and that pressure on the ledges and the edges. He was doing a lot of work putting that in with goal-wise, assist-wise, shots-wise. He was doing a lot of work there. I can't count Gramilla out, though. Gramilla was doing a really fantastic job in that game as well.
Absolutely. And, you know, great showings across the board here as it looks like our queue is about to pop for game number 2. We'll find out what our game plan is going to be, or what our map is going to be as we start to come into what could be our last game of the series. See if DUBU Strikers can take us the full distance and get us to a game number 3 here. That is, of course, going to be their goal. They have gone to 3 games before, but they have not yet dropped a series, and they are not going to want to fall down to 2-1 after having had such a hot start.
Yeah, with that type of start, they're definitely looking to get that 2-0 for this series. And just seeing on this map, we're going to be seeing that inky splash zone that you talked about.
It's
now
all
able
over.
To make an appearance here.
I love Inky Splash Zone. Is there a chance we can get the water cannons on all the maps, etc., etc.? They're so much fun. All right, we got an Inky Splash Zone game to close things out. Let's see how the DUBU Strikers and Orbits are going to be able to navigate it.
Yeah, definitely a tricky map to navigate, and we're going to be seeing that Amy ban from how well Spencer was able to play that. Definitely makes sense here. It does look like it's also going to be a DUBU ban, and it does seem like Spencer's going to be going Atlas this time around. Definitely a strong pick on this map.
Yeah, for sure. You just want to be able to create some structures to stop the cannon. I think that's the most important thing. Yeah, it's a whole lot of fun, for sure, to have to find ways to prevent that cannon from influencing the entire result of the match. Lumos going to be taking that X, and we're going to have some pretty different comps coming in from both sides. The Era for Hook Resets, Atlas is going to be mirrored on both sides.
Yeah, the Atlas does make sense. It is a very strong pick on this map. I also think that both Estelle and Rasmus are very strong picks. So it's definitely going to be hard to say what is going to happen in this match here, as we're going to see on kickoff that they're getting their team morale up with those emotes together. And now it does seem on kickoff that they're trying to put that pressure on, but 3Z Breezy's right there trying to put it in. But Hook Resets is able to keep it out with that Spencer, that project. I don't know the name of the primary, actually.
Astral Projection, and they are doing a great job with it, as they are going to be able to keep things opened on up, and we're going to see plenty of those flying back and forth across this pretty tight quarters map, looking at towards the bottom side to be able to open on up the first of their goal barriers, but the defense has been pretty clean thus far. Saw Lumos and Hook Resets pair up to get a lot of damage off early, Here's going to be that cannon, going to be looking to knock away the core. They are going to be able to block it. Lumos with the core flip, but taking control on the top side. 3Z Breezy finds it. Doesn't even get his hands on it, actually. That was an obscure Bread's goal.
Yeah, definitely going to be a lot of core flips coming out here with the Catalyst Big Fish start, but Spencer's the only one who took Big Fish here. So a lot of energy we're going to be seeing on this field.
Absolutely here, and you're going to want access to that energy. I mean, being able to flip it out of that water stream is going to be absolutely huge here. You want to be able to stop the juice from just scoring right up, and Grimella with a big bounce shot off the bottom, just going to take the goal right in their face.
Yeah, definitely a nice shot from Grimella there. Definitely harder to position on this map once your barrier's down, but it's also kind of tricky to play with your barrier up, with how you can hit those corners of it. And it does seem that both teams are keeping it far away from their barrier right now, holding that midfield strongly. But it does seem that now Lumos is trying to get it through, but they are able to fish it out with that. It's trying to get through from Grimella, and it does seem that they are able to hold it to obscure Breads here in the midfield.
Yeah, now there's going to be the flip coming on through from Spencer. Grimella up on the top side. Breezy going to be able to find that goal barrier, but they will lose Grimella for the cost. Lumos now trying to open things up on the bottom. There's the magical Maelstrom to try to push the core down towards Lumos, but it's just so difficult to get it past obscure Breads. It's not going to end up happening. Even with the core flip, he keeps up the defense. Spencer now taken down. Hook Reset's going to have to step in at goalie for now. A nice elusive there found by 3Z to keep themselves from going on down. Another magical Maelstrom, another blast, but now just trying to buy some time, trying to avoid that jet stream. Spencer is back up, and Hook Resets now can take it up towards the top side. Lumos low on stagger, will push it forward there with that bull rush and open things on up. Spencer now holding on to the button, presses it, but can't get to the core in time, and that is a 3-0 set for the DUBU Strikers.
Wow, it does seem like Obscure Breads definitely knows his way around this map in terms of defending and approaching the offensive with it. He's doing a very excellent job on holding it down, and we're going to see here something like Stacks and Twin Drive, or the Atlases. Definitely a strong picks and an egoist for all that energy taken by Grimella.
All right here, because that's going to be egoist selected here for the first pick of the draft. Grimella going to be taking that one out here as Stacks, Twin Drive, the usual. Reverberation, an interesting choice there for the side of Lumos, but I suppose not very many options left.
Yeah, I think letting Obscure Breads get that Twin Drive for a goalie that's holding it down really well was maybe not the right play, because he's able to hold it down without it, and now imagine what he can do with it. But it does seem I spoke too soon, as they're able to get that barrier on him really well from that Lumos. But it does seem that he's going to get killed by the Juicer, as 11 Drunk told me it was called.
Absolutely, yeah. Does the juice, the water, the gun, whatever you want to call it, we're all still working out our terminology, as that is going to be a big influence now for both sides in this game, with the goal barriers opened up for both sides. But Spencer cannot keep up the defense. Breezy pushes it through into the goal.
Yeah, definitely, once that Juicer comes out and comes into play, it's really hard to defend, especially if that core is on your side. So we're going to have to see, hopefully they're trying to defend their barrier a little harder, because once it's down, as said, really hard, with that core flip stopped from 3Z, and another core flip coming out, and it does seem like 3Z is able to find it through, and now with a KO on Grimella here, but the Juicer's going to come out, but nothing's going to come of it, and a core flip to bet the other barrier from Lumos, and now with another seeing of a core flip stopping it because the Juicer wouldn't let it through, and now with Grimella back up and both barriers down, it's tough to say what's going to happen here. Hook Reset's trying to get it through to Lumos, but they're doing a really good job of keeping it out. It does seem that they got a KO from the Maelstrom sneaking its way through with a core flip from Obscure Breads to get it out. And it does seem the Juicer come back into play with 3Z able to get a nice primary, a pendulum swing to hit it in for the second point of this set.
Absolutely here. And a great start off coming on through now for the DUBU Strikers, showing that game number one was not everything, and they are looking way stronger here coming into game number two. Grimella looking for the piercing shot up against Spencer, and Spencer looking very uncomfortable here on Inky's splash zone, not able to get towards the core nearly as much this time around, as once again there is going to be that juice fired on off by Obscure Breads. Not too much to be accomplished that time around, as Lumos is looking to take it into the goal barrier. Knocked on down towards the bottom side, has access to the core flip as well. Doesn't want to commit it while the X Maximus is in play, but as soon as it expires, there goes that flip, and the goal gets opened on up. Now another blast from the water gun, gonna knock it back up towards hook resets, but it's Threezy Breezy taking in control, and there's the water once again. Grimella looking for the shot, blocked away by Spencer. Lumos now taking control over on the other side, looking to knock it in up against Obscure Breads, but Grimella going to take it back over towards the left. Magical Maelstrom finding the KO on Grimella. Pass on down towards Lumos, looking for the bell ringer. Can't push it through, and hook resets. Going to have it slide right past them. Couldn't quite get there in time. The defense from Obscure Breads has been crazy, but now there's no more Obscure Breads left. Threezy Breezy trying to buy time with a death touch on towards the top side, but finally it's going to be Lumos finding the goal.
Wow, definitely a hard goal to defend, especially when they are finally able to get that KO on you. That X definitely getting those levels in from that. Maybe he'll be able to make a turn from it. And we are seeing that they have a lot of energy built up, Spencer and Lumos, for that core flip, which we're going to see right now with Lumos putting a lot of pressure on the Obscure Breads here with hook resets, trying his best to shrink them, make them not have that much impact, or being able to get to that core with a core flip coming out to Lumos, which is able to knock it in with the Bull Rush. And now as we're seeing X Maximus trying to get Grimella, but the what did you call it? The ult for ult for Atlas?
Yes, for sure. Doing the ult for Atlas is Celestial Intervention, I believe, but call it what you call it, it does a lot of work there, and another goal is found for Lumos. Very nicely set up.
Yeah, definitely a strong goal, definitely a strong point for both teams now. It's as we're seeing 2-2 on this set. They definitely don't want to let them get that 2 sets on them on the Orbit side. As we're seeing here, Threezy Breezy trying to get the core through with it, passing to Grimella. Core flip coming through from 2-3Z, but it's blocked by Lumos with the X Maximus. But the ball gets to him, and they block that core flip as well, with Grimella looking like they've taken a lot of damage here with Lumos wanting, but they get the orb to try to heal, and now they're juggling the core, not letting anyone touch it while they regain some of that HP.
Yeah, definitely buying themselves some additional time there, and what has become a very close set off of back-to-back scores from Orbits. Very nicely done so far. What can they make happen, though? Grimella up on the top corner. Core flip comes through from Lumos. Can't really do anything there, can Grimella. Has got the big X in their face, just punching away the whole time, knocking down the stagger very low. Spencer now passing it back over. Water gun going to be available soon, but Spencer is just sprinting up towards midfield, doesn't find the core flip, but Lumos finds the KO. Here comes the juice, looking for the shot from Lumos, can't quite find it. Spencer knocked back forward. Hook resets, wants to be able to assist there. Bewitching Beam has not yet found the angle on the core either, and Threezy Breezy will knock it back away with their own flip. There's the Whiplash combo coming through, but it can't find the goal barrier past Spencer. Finally, Threezy gets it open, and now they have that tool to play with, but the core is coming on through, and they're going to find themselves a KO for Lumos as well. Spencer blocks again, and with this numbers advantage, this could be the first set win of the game coming through for Orbits, but Grimella and Obscure Breads are staying on the defense, and Obscure Breads has access to that core flip where needed. Knocked in, and Threezy Breezy will win the second set for the side of the DUBU Strikers.
Definitely a really strong set. Now they are up 2 in this game, set-wise, and definitely a lot of seeing here as we see prime time for that Estelle and Castellas on X. Definitely a lot of good choices here, and definitely a hard carousel to say. Who do you think what team would get the better of this carousel?
For sure, going to be the primary cooldown that is valued the most, of course, by Grimella, looking for more of those piercing shots. Castellast and Orb Dancer coming on through shortly after, and of course, the Quick Strike for the X.
Definitely a strong pick for both of them, that Quick Strike and that Castellast. A lot was good there for everybody all around. And as we see here, the momentum of the match, it does seem that they're trying to break through with Lumos, trying with X Maximus, but it does seem they're able to keep it away from him. Now that he has the core, he's able to just almost get it, but Obscure Breads is blocking it. But the core flip just was enough barely to squeak it through, with the, it seems the juicer coming out now, able to get out of Grimella and find the goal in with Lumos' bell ringer.
Great combo there between Lumos and Hook resets. They knock it up to each other, and as you said, that bell ringer guarantees the shot. This is going to have to be a big comeback look here for Orbits if they want to be able to come back in this game and not go to game number 3. And they're going to have to show a lot more like that, and they're doing it. Lumos hits the KO, a pass up from Hook resets, and another score for Orbits.
Wow, what an insane power play that they just made. They're making a lot of waves. They really are showing that they do not want to be down 2 sets here. Can they keep that same momentum for the same round? It does seem that the X Maximus on the goal barrier, trying to get it, the core flip for that damage, it seems, onto Grimilla. They're keeping Grimilla really far out of play here. With the, it seems that they're keeping core away from the, and trying to get out that damage right now. The Maelstrom coming out, trying, but unfortunately, quite doesn't reach. And now with 3Z Breezy being shrunken, and the core staying mostly towards midfield, them trying to break it through that, but they find a KO with the core flip to get the barrier down. And now Spencer has that juicer on his side with a core flip, but he's able to block it with his own. And now that they are trying it, they're down 1 person, but a core flip from X able to keep that ball out enough for Hook resets to get back into play with the damage being kept up from them, but the Hook reset from 3Z. And it does seem that they are trying to get that core in with this pressure, with this power play here.
Yeah, doing their best, and they're going to find another power play for it, taking Spencer off the map. Now Hook resets and Lumos, they're going to have to play on defense, and Lumos doing a very good job keeping things cleared out. Here comes the juice, and Lumos knocks it right out of it once again. Spencer going to be back and going to be able to play defense, but he's got to get back up into the goal arc, and he doesn't get there in time. 3Z Breezy finds the goal.
Wow, what an intense game. Every set so far has been really intense with the KOs and the pressure on the goal box and the forwards potential here. Definitely a lot going down, and definitely a lot we're seeing here. As we're seeing for midfield, it does seem that the X is trying to get it through, where Hook resets wants to get that core flip off, but he just can't reach it. And now with Lumos having to get that ball right to that barrier, but they're able to squeeze right by. Right here as we're seeing the core flip come out to Lumos, but the core flip from Obscurbus to block that one out. And now it does seem that they are able, both teams fighting for midfield as they are able to get that core flip right to Lumos, but it's not quite enough as he's not quite just able to reach it. And now with Grimilla keeping it away from him, keeping it past that midfield mark. And now it does seem that they're trying with 3Z Breezy juggling it a little bit, but the core flip comes out with the bell ringer, but Obscurbus is able to block it out now with Grimilla soaking up a little bit of damage here. And now it does seem that they're trying to get the KO, but Grimilla is unfazed because they have that health from that Atlas to heal them up. Now with Lumos trying to get it, but Spencer core flips it out. And now it is a very tough game, very longer than the other sets so far, or rounds.
Absolutely. Going the distance here, finding their groove with the addition of the water cannons, whatever we're gonna call them, the juice, the water cannons.
The juicers.
Sure. As that's going to end up being what makes the difference here, and it's going to be the set win kicked on up here for Orbits. They are not done with game number 2 yet.
Yeah, they definitely didn't want that game to end there, and they're trying to bring this back for this comeback here, as we are now seeing a couple of strong things on the board like Chrono Boost, Monumentalist, and Built Different. Lots of good options here. And 3Z Breezy does have an Orb Dancer. Maybe he wants to go an Orb Replicator route.
Could be the option. The size on the X, though, I'm getting real scared of Lumos here. He's got the Catalyst, he's got the Quick Strike, and now he's going to go in for this Built Different as well. Hitting harder, taking up more space. He is a menace.
He definitely has been making his presence known on this field, and he has to be respected because he is making a lot of those plays on the barrier and the KO-wise. A lot can be done, but now that huge Maelstrom is able to take 3Z Breezy away from that core, but Obscurbus is able to get it back to him, and now it seems that they're trying to fight for this midfield pressure, and it does seem that they're able to win it with the 3Z Breezy with that, and the Death Touch pull. Spencer can't quite reach the core for the first point.
Love it coming out of here, doing such a great job to be able to secure that goal, pulling back away the one person who could have been able to save it. Now let's see what the turnaround opportunities look like here. Still an opportunity to get to a game number 3 here for the DUBU Strikers. They just need to win themselves one more set. Lumos, though, with the core flip available, he is huge on this X. Now a little bit less huge as the X Maximus expires, but huge nonetheless. and going to be continuing up in that trajectory. Now, nice core flip comes through from Grimella, blocked away by hook resets. There's another big magical maelstrom coming on through to cover up that top corner. Lumos with the core flip finds themselves the goal barrier to open things on up, as here comes that juice once again, knocked up towards hook resets, and there's the goal.
Wow, what a good use, and they try to block that juicer, but it's really hard to counter because you don't know what the enemies are going to do with it or how they're going to play off of it. Definitely a strong round, 1-1 for this set so far. Both teams really want it. Now there's a fight for midfield here. It does seem that Hook Resets is fighting in that corner with Grimella, but the Obscure Bread's coming with a core flip, is able to get it out. And now it does seem that the X is trying to put some damage onto Obscure Breads. But now Threezy Breezy with the core flip trying to get close, but they are able to peel it away from him, trying to get it to him now once again, as he's able to get the core flip out, but it's blocked by Hook Resets, and they're able to get the point down for the barrier. Now with the Maelstrom here to push the core in, but it is enough.
Really well done there, keeping all the pressure at the same time, syncing up the magical Maelstrom, syncing up the water gun, and keeping Lumos as that menace in the middle of everything, ends up finding themselves the goal.
Yeah, definitely Lumos and Hook Resets playing very well together. That X and Era synergy really well so far, as they made X even bigger here, trying to get that core flip down, but it seems Grimella's going to find it, but it's going to be blocked by the Atlas. Now, as we see that Maelstrom doing lots of damage to them, the core flip coming out from X, able to get the barrier to Hook Resets, which is a pass, but it's blocked by Threezy's pendulum swing here, but the juicer comes into play, and it does seem that they are able to block it. Scurbells and Grimella's core flip, but it's blocked.
And this game has descended into chaos here as the Orbit squad have come together and are really starting to put together some of the sauce here. And Lumos looking for the shot, blocked away by Obscure Breads. The counter flip does not find its way onto the core, but again, this X is just a menace. And Hook Resets with the giant magical Maelstrom has been making so much of a difference. The core flip comes through from Grimella, doesn't find the target. Obscure Breads is down, and another set win for the side of Orbit. They are not looking to go to game number 3 today.
That juicer taking away their goalie, super strong, must be respected there. Very strong pick as we go to the final two-set match set.
Absolutely here. Tempo swing on this X would be crazy. 1-2 punch on this X would be crazy. And I think that's probably what he's going to go for here. Could go peak performance for a little bit of additional damage. What's it going to be?
It's tough to say.
Yeah, all right, there's the 1-2 punch.
There it is.
This is a problem. This is a big problem. I'm going to be honest with you. He is going to beat you into submission before you even get the chance to do anything. Lumos is a menace.
Lumos definitely is, with all his awakenings and that era buff that we see come through, especially with that Maelstrom supporting with that damage. Unfortunately right there, it's not able to get through, but they're all able to get that through with how huge that Bellringer is, able to get the barrier down with Lumos right in the goal. So close to getting core flip, but the juicer coming into a system. Now he's able to core flip it in the force, but Obscure Breads is able to push it back out. Now healing with his ult, trying to get it through back to him. It does seem that they're having a hard time getting out here, but Grimella with the core flip, taking the core, trying to get the barrier down, but it's blocked by Spencer. Makes some amazing plays, and now it does seem Lumos is trying to get the KO, which he will able to find it, but while that's happening, they were able to get the barrier down with the juicer, but he's able to evade it. Now with Threezy Breezy getting in front of the goal and able to find it with the pendulum swing.
The timing a little bit off there on Spencer's astral projection, ends up letting one come on through. And this series going the distance here. Will we end up with a third game? That is certainly what the Strikers want, but Orbits already having come back 2 sets in a row. They do not want to call it quits here. Lumos has the core flip available. Now on the bottom, rescuable state there. Obscure Bread's ulti expires. This is your chance to go and try to finish somebody off. Will they be able to do it? Core flip there from Spencer. Core flip from Lumos, not finding their way onto the goal barrier. Threezy Breezy taken low as he dashes forward. He finds it off the bull rush, and there is going to be one found by Grimella as well, but the juice comes through for Orbits first. Here comes the second one, going to block off the center of the map, down towards Hook Resets, past Grimella. Here's going to be Lumos on the bottom, taking it with the quick strike. Hook Resets, boosts everybody's speed. It gets passed on up. Obscure Bread's gonna be there first. Comes on down. Core flip from Lumos. And we go to 1-1.
Wow, this is definitely looking like a close set and a close game. Both teams really want this, and it seems Orbits really wants to put it down here and end it while they can, because this is definitely a strong matchup as we are seeing here, as we see hook resets with the core flip trying to get it to Lumos here. Gramella is able to bait it out though with their own core flip. It does seem that Obscurbits is able to block it, but that Maelstrom is perfectly set to get that core, to get that barrier down, with the Juicer coming out and the core flip away from Breezy trying to get that barrier, but it's just not enough as Spencer is able to hold it down.
Absolutely here, Lumos going to be playing up at midfield. They do manage to open up the goal barrier on each side now. Here comes the juice, but the core flip and the shot from Lumos, 2-1, does it all. He's in charge of brawling, he's in charge of space control, and he's in charge of scoring as well.
He did that while it was a death play. He had to make that in, and he did. Because the Juicer would have taken him out and killed him if he didn't, but he made it happen, and he's trying to make it happen again right here, as we can see, but Carmella trying to core flip, keep it away from him, but it does seem that Spencer's able to block it now, with Lumos getting core flip from the extra damage he's been taking here from these abilities. Is he able to core flip now, trying to get the barrier, which he will find it in, and Hook resets, core flipping it, trying to get the pass to X, but Obscurbits is able to block it, but another core flip coming from Spencer, but it's blocked now, but an XKO onto the goalie now, as we see Carmella with the ego is trying to run up and get the barrier down with the core flip, but he's not able to find it, as Lumos has another core flip and he's able to end the game and end the series.
2-0 sweep for Orbits. They looked shaky in the game number 2, but they end up taking it at the end of the day. A huge upset win for Orbits here. K-Bot called it. Not everything's going to go according to plan. Somebody's going to get an upset, and today it's going to be Orbits.
Yeah, definitely a strong matchup. Definitely a strong game. They really came out here today, and they really wanted to show everybody what they had, and they definitely did. Those were some insane plays, and Lumos had a lot of potential. He had 50k damage in that last game. Definitely a well-deserved MVP. Played out of his mind.
Oh, absolutely here. I mean, such a big force in this game. 51k damage nearly, 8 goals. What can he do? I mean, what a great showing here in this game number 2 to be able to pull things back from the brink where it was a 2-0 lead for the DUBU Strikers. And you know, when you're the underdog team and you're the one who hasn't won a game yet in the North American Strikers League and your opponents are up 2-0, it is so hard to rally from that position, but they managed to do it here and they come up with a big win.
Yeah, they definitely did. Seeing that is usually really heartbreaking for some teams, but they were able to pull it back, and they were able to make that reverse sweep happen. Lumos getting definitely a lot of good awakenings for him, especially with that era assistance, with those Maelstorms and those the primaries that were shrinking and enlarging him. They were definitely super good all around. Is a well played game.
For sure, for sure. Great showings all around there. And now a lot to think about here for the DUBU Strikers. Starting off with a 2-0 win, then going 2-1, now getting 0-2'd. Seeing like some of the performances slipping as the weeks go on. Obviously, it's different opponents each and every time, but certainly not going to be happy with today. They are going to drop down to 2-1. They find themselves now tied on up with Core Overflow from our first game of the day.
Yeah, but now it does seem that Orbits is able to find themselves at a 1-2, which is very well, and they definitely did not want to go 0-3, so this is very well placed for them. Definitely a well-deserved victory.
Absolutely, yeah. Great showing here, and curious to see what they're going to be able to show us as they play out the rest of the NASL, but that's going to do it for our slot here games, Spooked Altar, as we have completed our 2 sets, and we're going to be throwing it to a little bit of a break here before too long, but anything you want to shout out before we close on out our segment of the broadcast?
Not in particular, no. All I gotta say is shout out to the Lumos, honestly, on that X. Definitely showed X definitely could be played in that high level scene.
Absolutely here. Great showing from him. And thank you guys all for tuning in for Spooked Altar and I. We're going to pass it on off to the next set of casters and back to the desk here for a little bit of a break before too long. But stay tuned. There's going to be more NASL games coming your way very soon.